Hi everybody, it's Tasso. I'm sure that at some point in your life, you will have come across a situation where a friend or a close person, a family member maybe struggled and you wanted to help. Maybe they struggled financially, or they were in a difficult relationship, or maybe they lost trust in themselves because they did not see the progress they wanted so much in their lives. And as the good person you are, you did not only want to help, but actually you try to help them, and you gave them maybe money or you gave them good advice, only to realize that you were rejected. Or the person might have actually taken the advice but never acted on it or never followed up on this. Even worse, you wanted to help so much and your intentions were so good that you actually did stuff for them. You went and met people, talked to people, you went to places for them. I think by now, having gone through a lot of in your life, you will have realized that it's not really how help works. And why is this? Because external advice is what it is. It's external. You know, it can be a kind of inspiration or a trigger or a catalyst. But if somebody truly wants to change, if somebody truly needs a change, this can only come from within. Only when they understand what's really at stake, what really the problem is, and what needs and why it needs to change, they can go through this. And only if they come up with their own solution, they will actually follow up with this. Well, then what can you do? How can you help at all? Well, everybody who struggles needs three things, and you can provide these three things. Number one is they need clarity. People who are in deep shit, excuse my expression, they don't see the forest for the trees. People who struggle they might think they know what the problem is, but they don't necessarily do. They might think what they know is at the surface, but they have not gone in depth. People look at the symptoms because that's all they see, and they don't see the disease. I will give you an example. So for instance, if somebody struggles with a relationship, a breakup in a relationship, they might tell you they want to get the person back, but that might not really be what they wanted. What they really want might be just to understand why they broke up with them. Or they might blame themselves, and they might think it's their fault, and so they just don't want to make the same mistake next time. So it's what they think they know and want is not necessarily what they know and want. So this is what you can help. You can help with clarity and make sure they understand what really is at stake. Now, how can you do that? You can do that clearly by asking questions. You know, you can ask the right questions. You can ask open questions that reveal what really is behind the scenes. Now, in order to ask the right questions, you need to listen in the right way. How does that work? There are three levels of listening. Number one listening is when you listen and actually you have your own thoughts going on in your head. So this might be actually the case when you listen to me. No bad feelings, by the way, no hard feelings. So you listen to someone and in your head you think about your own situation. In your head you think about something completely different. Maybe somebody talks to you and tells you something and you think about what you need to go for shopping. So this is level one thinking. Listening. Level two listening goes a little bit deeper, which is you actually understand what the person is talking about. You listen for the words. You know that what is a fucked up presentation, or it's a situation with the bosses. So you understand what really the problem is, or you understand the words. And level three listening goes beyond that. Level three listening goes into the emotions, how people say something. It's different if people say something like this or if people say something like this. You know, you listen between the lines. You look for beliefs, you look for values, you look for inconsistencies in what people say. If you have these, what you then do is you mirror things back. Because people don't see these things themselves. So you can mirror things back and you say, wow, you are really frustrated here. This will open them up and say, yeah, you know why? And then they will keep up, digging a little bit deeper. And then you ask also deeper questions. You know, what is really the problem? What is the real outcome you want to get out of this? So this is number one. Number one is provide them clarity through very, very active listening. The number two thing you can provide is options. People who struggle and who are in deep shit, as I said, they feel they've tried it all and they feel they are with the back of the wall. They think they're in a dead end. They cannot possibly imagine that there is anything they can do. So your job is to show them the options. What are the choices? What is it that they can do? What resources can they tap in? So these are the questions that one can ask, that they say, very simple, so what are your options here? What resources can you tap into here? Or very, very simple, the simplest question, what else? And they might be a little bit pissed off at the beginning because they, I told you, no. But if you keep asking, what else have you might not have considered here? This is something that will really help them understand what are the options, what are the different pathways they can take from the dead end that they think right now. And the point number 3 is action. Because, it's a completely different thing knowing what to do and doing what you know. So you need to really make them develop a plan, think about the elements that can help them move forward. You ask them, what are you going to do, how are you going to do it, and when are you going to do it? Well, not all together, obviously. This is not going to happen in one conversation, but this is something that really the person needs to think for themselves and to come up with a solution themselves. Now, all these 3 things that I said that you can help with are not happening again in one conversation. You might have realized that they're all sequential, and these things, and they go in cycles. So maybe at the stage where you come to an action, you will realize that, wait a second, you told me you want to do this, but in the beginning, you told me that that was the situation. How does that fit together? And you might need to go back and actually look again at the problem. So when discussing with someone, this is the process that this person is going through. So now you know, and I have to welcome you to the world of coaching, because that's exactly what coaching is about. Coaches do exactly the same thing. These are the 3 basic steps that people go through and that people and coaches use. It's about clarity. It's the biggest gift you can give somebody to really help him understand what the problem is. Options to help him understand what there is as ways, what can he choose from. And the other thing is action, to actually and finally take action and be accountable for this. So you got to put him on the spot. Don't take no for an answer. Now, here's a disclaimer at the very end. Of course, you cannot go ahead and just coach people along the way. If somebody comes and complains or struggles with something, you need to ask for a kind of permission. You need to establish some sort of contract. You need to go and say, okay, listen, I fully understand you're in a difficult situation, or if he's complaining, I see you're complaining about this. I can join you in this, or if you like, I can ask you a couple of questions and we can try to figure out a little bit deeper what this is. Are you okay with that? You need to establish a contract. You need to get permission for this. And the other thing is you need to establish an environment of trust. This is absolutely critical to keep a sort of confidentiality. The person needs to understand, and you need to reassure the person that whatever he or she is about to tell you is going to stay within the 2 of you, because this is absolutely critical in any situation where somebody struggles. When somebody struggles, they're vulnerable and they feel they're the only one struggling. They feel they blame themselves because they can't get out of them themselves. So you need to make sure that they feel comfortable, that they are in a bubble with you where where they feel safe. Okay, so that was how you actually can help people, the 3 elements and the way you do this. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this inspires you to sometimes not only go to people and tell them what to do, simply because this will not give you the best results. Sometimes you have to trust that the person already knows what they're going to do. They know what they have to do. Only thing you need to do is to trigger it out a little bit. You have to ask the right questions and to make him come up with it. You have to make them realize where they are and where they can go. And then finally also stick to the actions they want to do. So I hope it was helpful. Thank you very much for listening to this or watching this better. And if you liked it, please, as always, subscribe. So share as well if you feel that somebody finds this helpful. Until the very next blog post, I wish you a wonderful day. Take care.